The Jewish voice of Europe. What does that mean? Fighting anti-Semitism or Israel's delegitimization? Preserving Holocaust memory? Education? Jewish identity? Jewish leadership? Children? Students? Wait, you're going too fast. Hold your horses. Sorry. And action. Europe is spread out across 9,908,000 square kilometers. It is inhabited by 730 million people and is the third largest continent by population. 3 million Jews live in Europe. Europe has a deep legacy. Great Jewish leaders were born and bred here, generation upon generation of bustling Jewish life. But equally and sadly, a great deal of Jewish blood was spilled here. Where do we even begin to pick up the pieces? How do we strengthen Jewish identity in the millions who were taught to hide their faith so as not to stand out? How do we combat anti-Semitism that is on the rise year after year in Europe? The European Jewish Association, through a wide umbrella of organizations and partnerships, is growing in strength at the heart of our communities throughout Europe, never resting in their resolve to address and solve these challenges. Shall we begin?
I think this is something that we have been seeing for some time, that anti-Semitism is no longer confined only to the fringes, but that you see it more in the center of society.
Fighting anti-Semitism, public campaigns, regular meetings with government officials at all levels in Europe to raise awareness of the state of anti-Semitism and the importance of religious freedom.
In the first 6 months of this year, we've seen the second largest number of violent anti-Semitic attacks in the UK. So that's the second largest number. The highest was the first 6 months of last year.
What begins with words, incitement and propaganda ends with attacks against Jews.
Professional training for activists and representatives of Jewish communities on how to help with our diplomatic and political challenges.
The level of anti-Semitism all over Europe is breaking its own records.
BDS movement is the biggest anti-Semitic movement around the world, responsible for attacking thousands of Jews in Europe, almost in each country in Europe, on a daily basis.
Promoting legislation that will require European governments to incorporate the subject of anti-Semitism, the Holocaust, and Jewish contributions to Europe in school textbooks of all ages. Holding events for government officials, screening films about the Holocaust, and discussing what can be learned from the past for the future.
What kind of people look to buy personal belongings of Adolf Hitler and others, if not because of those people are their inspiration?
Organizing delegations of MPs and ministers to Auschwitz to raise awareness of the Holocaust. The erection of memorial stones on mass graves where thousands of Jews were murdered and so far have not received the honor they deserve. Holding hundreds of events for young Jews throughout Europe. Bringing dozens of groups of bar and bat mitzvah children from across Europe to Israel. Organizing fascinating lectures in various fields across Europe. Organizing female leadership events. Distributing hundreds of thousands of sets of menorahs, food gifts, mishloach manot, matzahs, and the 4 species. Organizing seminars and professional courses for rabbis and Jewish community leaders. Plus, in the coming year, establishing 20 branches of medical equipment loan centers for those in need. And that's not all. After decades of Israel suffering from a negative image that led to the rise of anti-Semitism, which caused thousands of Jews to hide their identity, we said enough. We acted. Europe-Israel Press Association. It has brought hundreds of senior journalists to Israel and held briefings for dozens of other journalists throughout Europe. We have had the privilege of having thousands of articles published that portray Israel in an objective and unbiased manner. The EJA works in Europe and throughout the world to providing help and acting responsibly and decisively for our future generations. EJA, proud to be the Jewish voice in Europe.